By the way, I watched the shorts and I absolutely loved them. The spots, they are so funny, but also so smooth, just like as you're holding a good old cup of Seattle's best coffee.
Oh, see,
It's
you
great
caught that.
synergy. So,
Here's a fun fact: Neil Brennan directed all those.
did he really?
He did. We had a great old time.
I love hearing that. So I will get to the shorts in a second. Did want to start though.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the last times we spoke was also for Klondike. So obviously you're the
Mhm.
face of multiple brands, but you have such a rich history when it comes to Washington, not only having grown up there, but also been a part of Almost Live and theater sports. How does it feel to get to be a part of such a big staple of your hometown, so to speak, in the form of Seattle's best?
Oh, Grant, I've never been to Seattle. What? Yeah, Grant, it is. I will say, when Seattle's Best Coffee approached me, and I told my wife, she was like, "Can you believe it?" And I was like, it's really, yeah, I was like, I don't know what I did right in life, but I was like, I was like, wow, this really is something that I get behind and love. And I drink so much coffee, and I drink a lot of this coffee, and I already was. And so yeah, and being from Seattle, which the coffee culture of Seattle, which I absolutely continue to participate in. And Seattle's Best Coffee is one of the pioneers of, Seattle culture that started in the 1970s and then just slowly took the world over. And I got to grow up during that. And I mean, I ran a coffee cart in high school called Sam's Espresso. And it was the only coffee on Mercer Island. There was no franchises at that point. And I would wheel that thing out behind the cleaners and get ready to go at 5:30 in the morning. And then there would be a line of people wanting their cappuccinos and lattes and brewed coffee. And I did that from like 15 to 20. And I was, yeah, so it is. So if Seattle's Best Coffee is listening, God bless you and thank you for having me. My gosh.
So with that said, then what's sort of your go-to coffee when it comes to getting out of bed and getting ready just to deal with the day?
Well, shocker, Grant. Seattle's Best just came out with campfire s'mores. And I know you're like, how does that work? Well, you have an open fire and you stick coffee beans on the end of a stick and you roast them for a moment, and then you take a marshmallow on chocolate and graham cracker. It's a really tasty coffee. It does taste like kind of graham crackers and chocolate and toasted, and I either will have it with half and half or just black.
So talking about these spots though, by the way, I'd love to hear how much involvement you had in not just, being on screen, but also sort of the ideas behind what we see.
Oh, well, the ideas, they came from the creative, from Seattle's Best. And so when I looked at the ideas, I was like, oh, these are pretty good, which does not happen a lot. And I wanted to add jokes and do my polish to it. And the guys I work with, Boyd Vico and Brad Stevens, added a bunch of jokes, and Seattle's Best very kindly put them in. There's a shot of me with a mullet. They recreated my high school photo of me, which was again a moment, like one of those surreal moments that I was like, wow. And then Neil was, of course, very funny. And the whole thing behind the whole thing is basically like, make smoother coffee, bring you smoother days. And so because things are obviously always going to go wrong in people's lives and in the world, but if you can add some smooth coffee to it, it's going to make it a little bit better.
So there is a crazy range of the bad days that we get to see in these spots.
Bad day, yeah. You mean your
Range.
car just falling apart, or your refrigerator turning into a robot refrigerator, kind of losing its mind? Yeah.
So which one would you say was sort of the craziest to have to immerse yourself in, even if it was for, a 30-second TV spot, so to speak?
The kitchen going nuts was something to behold, to see. When you build those sets, you see it on paper and you're like, okay, that seems like it could be a thing, and almost like an animated thing. And then when you see it in motion, You're like, wow, this is working great, because it could, one bad part of it could make it look bad, and then it doesn't. But they, like, if you were on set, and then they would go like, kitchen, go nuts. The whole thing was shaking. There's guys on the other side of the wall pushing cupboards in and out. The what is it? The refrigerator just walked us. I mean, it was great. The sink went nuts, everything. And then the reset always took about 25 minutes, but it was really impressive. And then the guy with all the balls and hockey sticks and baseball bats, that was a gigantic rig that was about 15 feet tall that he had on his back, which wasn't really on his back because there's no way a human being could carry all that. But that was really funny. The guy was just standing there in the middle of this gym. And I was like, this is pretty impressive. I mean, it was like, you should get some friends and get some photos of this, because this doesn't happen very often. So, and Neil there's a couple of really funny kids. The birthday party one was really funny, and they nailed it. And you never know with kids, they can sometimes, be unpredictable. And these guys were telling jokes and really funny.
So on the note of campfire s'mores, by the way,
Yeah.
I did want to ask a few questions outside of the Seattle's Best campaign, beginning with Yellowjackets.
Yeah.
Really excited to see you there. And Kodiak is such an interesting character to start with. This is a very secretive show, of course. How hard has it been doing press and having to keep some of the bigger secrets of what your arc is going to be this season?
I'm scared. I'm scared to do press, to say anything that wrong. So that everything was a secret. Every script you get, is watermarked. Obviously, that's with a lot of things. But the speculation of the fan. I mean, I've been on a few things that have big fan bases that I've been so lucky to be, to become part of the family for a moment, and or the entire time for the rest of. They to walk right into a hit show like that, and with a cast that was super cool and fun, and I was like, wow, you guys, everyone's working really hard. We're out there in the woods, and they have to protect the set from people just wandering onto it and taking parts of it. So they have to keep moving it. And so there's a couple, I'm not going to tell you where it is, Narnia, but it was one of the more secretive things. I think the X-Files was the other one where I was like, oh, they're not going to show me as much of the script as I want to see, because they're worried it's going to get out. And Yellowjackets does a great job. They did a great job, and I'm not going to tell you at all what happens.
I don't want you to tell me what happens. I mean, we technically know what happens, but we don't know how it happens. So
right. All right.
I am very intrigued, but I will say this, and you don't have to answer. I've seen theories that Kodiak might be the only one to have survived of the three, and I think that would be interesting.
Well, okay, Grant. I will give no opinion on anything you've just said.
Now, I know everybody and their brother, including myself, the past few times we've talked, has asked about it. Community, the movie, though, I'm going to attest that as long as we keep talking about it, it will happen.
I agree. It's going to happen.
So I know everybody's seen a script. I know that it's really just been down to scheduling changes. Has there been any hopeful updates that this year or maybe early next year that cameras might start rolling?
I think that will happen. And I say that as an optimistic participant. I think it will. I'm hoping sometime after September and maybe October, November. We have the money, like it's funded. So that is a gigantic hurdle. So that's why I'm pretty bullish on it happening. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen.
I've found it interesting seeing so many shows like Psych and Monk find second lives on Peacock with sequel movies and whatnot. Are you and Dan and the group sort of looking at the Community movie as a proper finale for the franchise, or do you think there is room to grow beyond the film?
I think there are some of us that would love to keep going. And I would be like, great, if you guys want to do episodes, let us know. And I think that'll probably depend on the success of the movie. But I think there's enough of a demand to do. I don't know what it would look like, but obviously the movie would have to inform a lot of that. So I'm game, and I know a few others are game. I'm not going to tell you whom, but I would definitely do like they're always like I would a limited series. I'd totally be up for it.
Well, I can't wait in the meantime to see the movie and to see the ball get rolling on this Seattle's Best campaign, because
May smoother coffee bring you smoother days, because there can be bad days, but this will make it smoother.